Sada Baby says no to Eminem's influence in Detroit. So recently, Sada Baby laid out his position without hesitation, saying Eminem's legacy is undeniable on paper, but complicated on the ground where he and other local artists built their careers. So a quote was, "You don't hear everybody that comes out of Detroit screaming Eminem or praising Eminem unless it's Big Sean or Royce the 5'9", realistically, because it's Big Sean. He ain't did shit with nobody that got the same skin color as us."
Damn.
So.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pose the question here.
All right.
So, how do we navigate the uncomfortable reality that the face of Detroit hip hop globally is white, while the ground, if you will, is predominantly black? Does that create an inherent disconnect?
Maybe to the world, but not to the city of Detroit. That's the issue. That's the difference between the two. Eminem left Detroit and got hot. You know what I mean? He just happened to get with the biggest producer
Ever.
in the world.
Yep.
And that's what catapulted him to superstardom. Sada, Icewear Vezo, Peasy,
42 Doug.
42 Doug, but Payroll Giovanni. You know what I mean? All of these guys, they got it out the streets of Detroit. They didn't really get anything from the Eminem tree. That is the real Detroit sound right now. You know what I mean? So I get what he's saying, but Eminem is the face of Detroit hip hop, man. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? And quiet as kept. Nah, I might not even say Eminem is the face of Detroit hip hop to me. To you, yeah. Dilla is the face of Detroit hip hop. You know what I mean?
Like, to me as well. But
but I mean, we're in a different space, though. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at it from a lens of people that were introduced to Detroit as a whole,
it's a different generation.
Yes, it's definitely a different generation. But like, we already know the type of star that Eminem is. So like, I wouldn't necessarily say he represents Detroit in that manner. He's just a very good rapper that's from Detroit. I wouldn't necessarily say he's the face of it. I mean, he could be the face of a lot of things musically. When I think of Detroit, I don't even think of hip hop. I think of Motown.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Or techno.
Yeah, like the shit music like that. You know, this stuff, and I can't stand that music, but I understand the connection it has to Detroit.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I can understand maybe his frustration, knowing that the Detroit sound isn't necessarily representative of Eminem. Again, like you said, Eminem got on from Dr. Dre, who obviously is a West Coast producer and was the biggest producer at that point in time.
But Terry, who is Dr. Dre's a lot of his influences?
I mean, it's Midwest,
right? So technically, it still is Midwest.
It's still Midwest,
but it's not Motown.
But it's not Motown. Yeah. It's like, I mean, some of the funk elements are Motown.
Yeah, he sampled, some Motown on those DLC.
Parliament recorded their albums there in Detroit.
That is true. Yeah, I mean,
it's the streets. It's the streets versus.
Yeah, that's the piece.
Because they don't rap like Eminem.
No, they talk about the street shit that happens in Detroit.
But even from Trick, he messed with Eminem. And they kind of use him as
extortion.
The person that you have to check in with when you come to the city. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, because I remember when I got a Trick album through the record pool, and at this point I had never heard this a while ago. It was like 20 years ago. And I was looking at the features. I said, Eminem. How did this guy I've never heard of get a feature with Eminem? I mean, and then someone was like, oh yeah, they're both from Detroit. I was like, well, I don't want to say that doesn't mean anything because there's a lot of people from certain places that won't do our records with people, but
no fly zone.
So Sada seems to have respect for Trick for his presence in Detroit. Is a presence more valuable than a record deal in the eyes of the city? Do you think?
I think so.
Especially like when I think about Indianapolis, even in the way that I look at it, because when I think about artists that have maybe kind of more global reach, there are a handful of them, but they didn't come up through the city. I have a different perspective and view of those artists than I do those that actually built within what's built here.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to call themselves from a place.
No, I agree.
why can't Kid Rock be the face of
Come
hip-hop?
on now. Don't get Jay started.
What do you think, Double A? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the fact that, like, well, say, because part of me thinks, like, obviously the sound, Detroit sound, as you said earlier, isn't represented by Eminem.
Mhm.
And I wonder, you know, because I think if Eminem was black and rapped the same way, it still wouldn't be the Detroit sound.
Sure.
Nope.
And I think that if he was white and rapped with more of how the current sound is, then maybe they would not have the same view.
Right.
It's just, it's to me, it's also a little bit of like being Michael Jordan's son, where you have this undeniable global impact from somebody like Eminem. And then anything that comes beneath it from that tree is always going to be overshadowed by that bigger entity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has to be super frustrating for somebody like a Sada Baby or any of these other Detroit kind of ground street guys who clearly have a buzzing sound, but can't necessarily escape the shadow if they want to rep Detroit while also distancing themselves from what type of sound Eminem has created.
And I think another interesting piece to that too, then you can jump in, but like a lot of Eminem's fan base isn't necessarily like a hip hop fan base.
Exactly.
You know, so that's another piece.
No, that's the complicated thing whenever we talk about Eminem here.
Yeah.
Is okay, because there are people who are diehard Eminem fans who don't listen to any other hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them probably reside in Detroit and they identify with what Eminem does. But if you said, hey, let's check out the Sada Baby record, they'd be like, no, we're good. I'm not saying there is no, you know, overlap in that Venn diagram, but, you know, with Eminem, and plus, like, you got to remember, Eminem, this is, you know, he started making music at least that I was aware of, in the 90s. You know, it's hard for these kids who probably weren't even alive when, you know, Just Don't Give a came out. You know, they don't care anything about, you know, the stuff that Eminem did, him on stage with Elton John. Like that is ancient history to them. Like we talked, just like when I talked about the disconnect between the props that you would get for somebody in you know, previously on the show. Like, it's like Eminem is like, he might as well live in like the Emerald City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because first of all, he's made so much more money than, you know, the average rapper. And he's had so much more success. I mean, this is a relatability problem. Just over, even if Eminem came to 8 Mile on a regular basis just to show love and say what up, I mean, I don't think it would make a difference just because the music doesn't connect.
Yeah.
He still lives there.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time,
No.
I can't even say, I was going to try to compare it because, you know, who was really selling record, you know, M Pimp Juicing Us, to where, you know, St. Louis has his own complicated relationship with Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are some people there that F with him as an innovator and somebody who brought light to the city. But then there's some people on a bit, he's like, well, he brought light to the city, but he shined the light all on himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't.
That's not fair, though.
I don't think it's fair either. I really don't. I mean, because there are other people that were able to go ahead and make a way for themselves, even in that era, whether it been Jaquan, whether it been Chingy, like all these people had a certain level of success, you know, outside of the Nelly family tree, if you will.
I was about to say, he didn't shine the light all on himself. He brought his team with him.
I mean, as long as you don't ask Ali, but everybody else would be like, hey, man,
That's your fault, bro.
I did what I could.
You had the opportunity. You put out an album.
He put out a couple albums.
Yeah,
Remember,
you know what I
Ali and Gip and his solo album. So
yeah, you had an opportunity. It just didn't hit for you the same way. You mad at that man?
you know, so when we take it back to Eminem, I don't even think there's, like I said, it's like, hey, look, I'm from Detroit. I rep Detroit. But does Eminem even have a tree?
Yes.
D12?
Yeah, D12.
Okay. All right. You're very right.
But then it kind of stops there,
Yeah, I
though,
was gonna
really.
say,
I mean,
think-
maybe Obi Trice.
Mm-hmm.
Denine Porter.
That's a D12.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
I think
Royce.
this current
Royce.
this
well,
current sound, it wasn't even like
Nah.
a thing then.
Yeah.
For
It's
what
like-
Detroit is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
And they want a new face for that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
just
don't know.
like, so the difference between the two is like Sada, you don't have the same machine behind you that
True.
Eminem did. You know what I mean? He had the biggest people in the industry behind him, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's not forget he was a white dude on TRL.
Yeah.
Like,
man.
that was a lot.
Just, like, you Sada, you might be the face for
The new generation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's different, you know, but
I think it's also tough having not only a monumental superstar represent your city, but also knowing that you'll never have the essentially white privilege that an Eminem had on his come up route. You know,
like
there's
that's
no,
just not a thing.
yeah,
No,
I think
because he stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I feel like every artist wish and aspires to have the same trajectory that Eminem had. You know what I'm saying? I get it that this is the face that you feel like everybody sees when you talk about Detroit being Sada Baby being, but I don't know. There's nothing that you can do that's going to erase that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like at this point, it should just be something that you don't even really care about. You have to pretty much carve your own lane and make your own image kind of stand out, because I mean, you're going up against a giant when it comes to music, period. If you're wanting to be looked at in the same lane as an Eminem, whether it be Detroit or the United States.
So you guys have made this point. Like, this is bigger than Eminem when you talk about Detroit. Like, Detroit's musical legacy is extremely rich.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hard. Eminem's might not even be the top. And you know what I mean? Like,
that's why I said I think about Motown at the end of the day. When I think about Detroit, musically, it's always points to Motown. It doesn't even point to rap or hip hop.
It literally spawned techno. Like, it's like an entire genre. You know what I mean? So it's super rich when you talk about that. And then there's multiple sections of hip hop too. And then when you talk about when you talk about family trees, when you talk about Dilla, like what Dilla,
The whole SV. Look,
Slum Villages, to be honest, Slum Villages or Dilla's tree might be greater than Eminem's.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely, because it reached outside of Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not from a popularity standpoint, from like an individual face that we can see, but impact is like crazy. Do you think, kind of piggyback off that, do you think the artist's responsibility is to the talent, if you will? Like in this Sada Baby discussion where he mentioned, he's never done anything with any of us, blah, 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 blah. Is the responsibility based on talent or curation or geography?
That's
like loyalty.
That's a lot.
It's absolutely a lie.
Yeah, because I was about to say on Eminem last project,
it's a lie.
he had a song where he brought all them niggas on the record. I can't. Yeah, women. I think Cash Doll was on it. Sean.
But for whatever reason, with Sada Baby, it didn't seem like he felt very warmly toward Big Sean for whatever reason.
Like him for some reason. It sounds like.
Hey man, God bless.
I mean,
man.
it's not a true statement, but I do think that at the same time, like maybe there's a little bit of merit in.
Or maybe a little salt.
That's what I mean. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah,
too.
like
he didn't help me,
Right.
Yeah.
so he's not down for the town.
you think he gonna help you? You keep talking shit.
Well, no, definitely not now.
Shut the hell up. Yeah, just do your things behind the scenes.
Look,
You got love for Trick. Have Trick make them.
Have a conversation.
Yeah, Trick and Royce. I know Royce.
Yeah.
No, Ross ain't messing with none of them Detroit cats because
He got run out of town.
Yeah, they took his flight pass.
But what do you think? Is there a responsibility? Does Eminem have a responsibility here? Does hip hop artists have a responsibility to?
No.
Is it more so? Do they have let me rephrase this. If you're, what responsibility does someone have to help out the area that they're from?
I say yes and no. You know what I mean? Like it is.
And what does that look like?
I say it is. If you want the light to continue to shine on Detroit, it's only right with you being the star that you are as Eminem to pass the proverbial torch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that torch.
Yeah, like, hey man, look, this is the new sound of Detroit. Here's Sada Baby. You know what I mean? Like, here is 42. Here's Peas. What's the dude named?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Girl, you know you fine.
No, I don't remember
What's the dude name, man? I don't remember.
I know
you
you
know
know all their names, man.
Yeah,
because they popped on his computer on Friday night.
Yeah, like I know these kids. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, it's not something that I listen to regularly. But I do know when these records are connected.
Yeah,
I can see
I get that.
You know what I mean? So Detroit hip hop is actually club scenes right now. You could play a good 30, 45 minutes of nothing but Detroit music.
You ain't gonna play not one Eminem song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's always been the case. But I mean, again, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where we actually had the conversation on about, does an artist have the responsibility to go back and pick up artists on the way? You got to realize, like you said, Eminem has been out since the 90s, late 90s. I feel like he talked about D12 and other artists from the city, Obi Trice. Royce obviously was in his own lane, but once him and Eminem kind of, you know what I'm saying, reconciled their differences or whatnot, they made music together again. Yeah. So I feel like at this age, Eminem has contributed to the scene in Detroit, and that the artists that he kind of helped put on is on them now.
We can look at this from a communal standpoint or an individualist standpoint. I tend to look at this from more of a communal standpoint, and I feel like it's a net positive for the place that you're from and the people that I'm around, the thing that helped me grow into who I am, to put back into that community and that particular type of piece. And I feel like there's a lot of value in that. And so when I look at it from this angle, I feel like it's important, and I always advocate for artists to, and anybody who is doing things similar to like what Mike Epps is doing stuff in the same way. You know, like I like to see when people are like putting back into the place that they're from. I don't necessarily think that anybody has an individual responsibility. You know, like to your point about Eminem, he's already paid his dues. He's already done that. But it doesn't mean that there are people that are in between Eminem and where Sada Baby is that couldn't take that role and have done it as well, you know? And I feel like we have seen that. I've seen Royce has done some stuff like that, you know, but I think we can't have people just like, you can't have like an endless list of like, oh man, all right, let me come back. And
my job now is to keep putting people on.
I don't necessarily believe in that, but I do, you know, like the foundation and the building up of an area, and especially growing something. I don't know. I think that's important.
Well, if somebody, you know, once again, I'm not sure when Eminem is ever interviewed or whatever. I don't know. He doesn't do a lot of media availability.
He just played Thanksgiving. He performed at the football game.
But, you know, if someone were to ask Eminem, like, oh, who do you like right now? And they say, well, you know, it's a dude from my city named Peace. Like that go a lot. Like at least do that. You know, at least say who you like coming up and they're from your city. Because a lot of times, like especially in this record, you know, creating environment as far as the business is concerned, that's about all you can do.
It is, but then they'll say, well, that wasn't enough.
Nah.
Like,
well, see, that's why a lot of people don't help you.
That's what I'm saying. Say he got signed to Shady, or some of these artists got signed to Shady, and they felt like Eminem didn't do everything that he should have did to put them in a position.
Sure.
Now they're upset with him about that. So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It feels that way. So I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, what's his name? West Side.
Yeah. The whole thing they had with Griselda.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if he's from Detroit or from Saginaw, Flint, one of them. But like, I think Emmett and BFB Pac-Man, if they was to do something together, man, that would probably be pretty dope, man. Because Pac-Man is pretty damn funny, man.
Oh yeah,
not even tip. No.
Yeah, he's a portly man. That's
a kind way to say it.
Yeah,
he's a portly individual.
Yeah, he has lots of humor in his raps.
Gotcha.
Not like
it's like a funnier street bazaar.
Oh.
Okay,
it's not like Dave Blunt's portly.
No. That's obese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's morbidly obese.
Okay.
Yeah, he's oxygen tank from death.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just one of them.
Just one. Hey.
So he doesn't need to sit on a couch the entire time.
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
He needs the shot. He needs a vat of Ozempic.
I thought you was about to say man.
Not a vat.
Yeah, no, like, is that the unit of measurement for Ozempic?
Yeah. A vat.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs an IV, Ozempic IV.
Here's a desk of
right.
Let's shift.